Morning. Cool. So this morning, I am going to talk to you about being a team. So when Claire gave me the reading from this morning, which I will read in a minute, I was thinking, how do I make this as practical as possible? And some of you will know me, some of you won't know me as well. But football is a big thing in my life. So I thought, what an opportunity, I can speak about football. So that is what I'm going to speak about this morning, lessons I've learned from football that cross over into this. So, John 13, verse 34 to 35. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. So, what can we learn from that? And I think the most helpful thing that I have taken from this is to make it really, really practical. Because I think when we say, let's love one another, everybody goes, yeah. And then we go, how do we actually do that? So I think I've summed this up in one sentence, but then I will go into more detail. So I'm not going to say one sentence and then walk off. But I think loving one another is bringing the best version of myself to make the best version of us. So bringing the best version of myself to make the best version of us. So some of the things that I'll be talking about is for you as an individual, and some of it is for us as a team. Oh, that's me. So, 3 things that football has taught me. 1, discipline. 2, perseverance. And 3, teamwork. So, discipline. I think this is committing to something and being a massive part of it. So, in a church context, that is committing to Jesus being at the centre and committing to being part of this team. So how do we do that? 3 little points. 1, be loyal and show up. I realise that some people might really struggle with this context, might really struggle with being in large groups of people, might really struggle, and actually, I am one of them. I'm a real introvert, and Pete will tell you, the big crowd of people are not my bag. So, that takes a lot of effort from me, but actually, doing it in the small, invite one person around your house. It doesn't have to be big groups of people, but actually being loyal to the team, being loyal to putting Jesus at the centre of that's a massive part of what we do here. Secondly, I've put obey Holy Spirit prompts. So in a football context, that would be anything kind of my coach says or my captain says, putting that into practice. But in this context, if the Holy Spirit speaks to you, take that prompt and run with it. Put it into practice. And the third one, commit to growing and following through. So commit to being part of this team, commit to being to Jesus being at the centre, and really commit to it. Don't just kind of come here on a Sunday and kind of wishy-washy talk about it. Actually really commit, really make this part of your everyday 365. We talk about that a lot here. Make it a big part of your week, day, minute, and make it a big part. And don't compartmentalize it to a Sunday. Make it part of your every minute, every day. So, second point, perseverance. I think this is committing to never giving up, no matter the circumstance or situation. So, one of what comes into that is accepting mistakes. We know that here, we are never going to be perfect. We know that doing life with Jesus and putting Jesus at the centre, we're never going to nail that. And so we're going to have to accept that sometimes we're never going to nail it. And sometimes we have to learn from our mistakes and move forward. And sometimes we have to own up to our mistakes, apologise, and again, move forward. But to do that first, I think we have to accept that we're not perfect in the first place. Second one, acknowledge all circumstance. I look around and see many people, many faces, many circumstances, many ages, and actually everybody's going to be in a different stage. Everybody's going to be there's some people who might not even have committed their life to Jesus here today. There's some people who've been doing it for 50 years, longer. But there's going to be people in different stages. Help each other, be a part of this team. That means accepting everybody at every stage. So the third point I've made on perseverance is celebrating success. Successes are really obvious in football. Here, I don't think we acknowledge them as much in YCC. And sometimes I think we have to be really intentional of looking at everything we do here and saying how amazing it is, because it is amazing. We are an amazing church. And I mean, I was a part of the AGM on Wednesday, and you get to hear of all these stories of all the things we do, and it's amazing. So let's celebrate everything we do. Third point, teamwork. So committing to working with others in unity. So being all together, aiming for the same thing. So number 1 point on this is trust your teammates. Trust that everybody is working towards the same thing. If we start kind of picking each other apart, how are we going to get anywhere together? Second one, everyone counts. Everybody gets to be a part of this. Everybody gets to have a role. And if you don't know what it is, speak to people. There is something for everyone to be a part of. And to be a team, we need everyone to be a part of. We can't rely on 1 or 2 people. It has to be everyone pulling together to do this. And then the third one, which I think we are going to do a bit more of after I finish, is encourage everyone. Everybody gets to play a part, but if everybody doesn't realise what a good job they're doing, actually, people can go downhill pretty quickly. So encourage everyone, be a part of this, and work together as a team moving forward.